Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I'm sure by this stage of the hackathon, you all know the drill. And today is no different. We have an amazing workshop lined up for you as we approach unfortunately, the end of the Binance Africa Hackathon, Decentralized Africa. But what a time it's been so far, right? We've seen amazing projects from Auto Farm, Refinable, Africa's own Zen Finance, and it's been a real blend of how you can yourself get involved in the space, but also what's available in the space, how you can build on different levels and layers. And it's been absolutely exceptional to watch. Sometimes I forget that I'm the host because I get so enthralled by what our workshops are doing. So, like I said, today is no different. But before we get on to today's workshop, as always, we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. So, for those of you, I think there's probably very few who have yet to enter that $2,000 giveaway. That's right. $2,000 is going to be given away to 100 lucky winners across Africa. And you have until the 28th of June to enter that. So there's still time. So if you want to be one of those lucky winners, if you check the chat below, you'll see the entry form for that giveaway. And that giveaway coincides with something amazing that we're doing, which is actually the culmination of the hackathon. And although a lot of you are probably really excited by these workshops, about the daily prizes we've been giving away, the real crux of the hackathon Decentralized Africa is to decentralize Africa. So we've been getting a whole bunch of project submissions from across Africa, everything from digital identity to lending and borrowing on the blockchain, and projects that are really close to Africans' hearts. And by the 28th, we will be choosing the top 10 projects from Africa that have submitted, and they will be demoing their projects to all of us, as well as an esteemed panel of judges, including people from Binance Smart Chain, from Bundle, from Refinable, from Mobox, and a number of our other sponsors. So in addition to the giveaway, you better make sure that you sign up for our demo day show, because who knows, we could be seeing the birth of the next pancake swap, the next Binance Smart Chain, for all anyone knows. So make sure you sign up for that event. We'll be sharing the link for that as well. And that is the demo show for the Binance Africa Hackathon. And finally, I know, and you can see those details on screen. And finally, another thing I wanted to mention is, we've had a lot of these really interesting workshops. But even before that, I mean, Binance Africa is known for our education. And those of you might know the masterclass. I mean, you have to know it because it is Africa's largest crypto education brand, the Binance Africa Masterclass. And a lot of you are probably thinking, oh, I wish I was there. I wish I could have learned when we did a session on trading, on DeFi, on investing in crypto, on building on Binance Smart Chain. Well, as you can see right now, all of those sessions, as well as every single one of the workshops we've had this week, are all available for you to watch again and again and again on our Binance Africa Masterclass homepage. So go check it out. It is going to be the only place that you ever need for all of your crypto education requirements. Everything from crypto trading 101 to blockchain to the basics of Bitcoin. And like I said, all of our events and our workshops as well. So make sure you check that out. Finally, the last bit of housekeeping that we have to do is, if you have any questions for today's project or the presenter of today's project, just drop them into the chat below, not the link, the chat below. And towards the end of the session, we'll have about 5 to 10 minutes where we take a few of those questions from the audience. So prep those questions. Okay, now that we have gotten the housekeeping out of the way, the project that will be with us today is very, very well known. In fact, they're one of our headline sponsors, and that is FORTUBE. So for those of you who don't know, FORTUBE is a liquidity-based lending protocol, and it enables anybody to supply digital assets and earn interest, or borrow digital assets against some collateral. It also supports a super wide range of digital assets. So whatever you're hodling, trading, it's very likely that FORTUBE supports it. And it's very fair and transparent because the borrowing and lending rates are algorithmically adjusted. And this makes sure that the maximum incentives are given to those who participate in these liquidity pools. So I am no expert on FORTUBE, but fortunately, we have somebody with us who is. So from the Amarok team, I'd like to welcome, from the FORTUBE team, I'd like to welcome Amarok. Welcome Amarok.
Hi. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, everybody. Glad to be here with Binance Africa Hackathon. Today, I'm going to give you a walkthrough on the security system of FORTUBE. FORTUBE is a leading crypto bank. We provide DeFi service to crypto people around the world without any major security incidents since we launched FORTUBE on September last year. How do we achieve this? We value security of our system and our users' hard-earned assets. Our security system guards your assets 24 hours a day, 7 days a week from multiple aspects. The smart contract, the global emergency lockdown mechanism, the price oracle, the multi-signature and one-time private key, and dual volatility protection and independent liquidation threshold. First, let's talk about contract security. Our team has created a security guidelines for smart contract development and auditing, which provides a checklist against all known vulnerabilities and potential pitfalls, and a set of rules to manage important credentials. In addition, we peer review one another's code. As human beings, it is easy to see the faults of others, but difficult to see one's own faults. Peer code reviews together with a group code review session that follows keep our code free from common and uncommon bugs and vulnerabilities. We have outsider helpers too. FORTUBE has been meticulously audited by leading security auditors and received helps from leading security researchers. Thank you, PackShield, Slowmist, and Certic, and huge and sincere appreciation to Sam. Now let's come to the next slide. Our global emergency lockdown mechanism has lockdown switches on multiple interfaces. In case there are any issues or emergent incidents, the smart contract can be locked down to prevent further damages instead of deteriorating to the point of no return, just like you need to do something instead of watching the Titanic sinking. Next, let's talk about the sibling of the global emergency lockdown mechanism, the so-called cooperative automatic lockdown mechanism, which is an off-chain risk control system, auditing the on-chain data and lock down the FORTUBE smart contract in case anything goes wrong, and thus preventing further damage. Next, let's see an illustration of our lockdown mechanism. Our off-chain system audits each and every transaction that ever executed on the smart contract. The auditor reevaluates transactions off-chain and checks the result against the on-chain state. If there are any discrepancies, the off-chain auditor locks down the smart contract and notify our engineers to sort out the issue, thus protecting our users' assets. Next, let's talk about our price oracle security. We make use of Chainlink as our oracle for mainstream tokens and our own one for others. Our backend system synchronizes oracle prices for bookkeeping and API service. Now let's come to the next slide. We all know for a DeFi lending platform like FORTUBE, the price oracle is the one important component of the system. Any vulnerabilities in price oracle can result in disastrous situations, risking all assets on the platform. Our price oracle is secure in that we are using multiple authoritative sources, and we get off the outlier and use the weighted average to ensure credible prices. We have multiple nodes to feed prices to our oracle, which are typically isolated from one another and managed by different people, which secures our system. We take the median from multiple nodes as the source of truth to prevent price spike from disturbing our system. Now let's come to the next slide. Now let's talk about multi-signed one-time admin keys. Different operations to the smart contract demands different layers of permission and security levels. When performing critical operations, we create a one-time private key and authorize it as the reigning administrator with multi-signature protection. After the operation is completed, the private key would then be abandoned, permission revoked, and administrator unset. Next, as a DeFi lending platform, the volatility of token prices is a very important factor that demands careful planning so that the assets of our users are well protected. To do so, we have deployed a unique dual volatility protection model that is slightly different, but different in important ways to the more traditional and commonplace one. In a DeFi lending platform like FORTUBE, the loan is over-collateralized. Now, the problem is, how do you determine the collateral coverage ratio? Usually, the minimum collateral coverage ratio is determined by the volatility of the collateral. It works pretty well in traditional finance, except in the United States subprime mortgage crisis perhaps. It doesn't work very well in the DeFi world, in that in traditional financial settings, you are lending fiat, which has stable value, but the inflation that everyone is talking about today. Whereas in the DeFi world, you can lend a large variety of assets with varying volatilities, which the traditional model of deciding the minimum collateral coverage ratio fails to take into account, and thus runs a high risk of liquidation and bad debts. Our solution is to take into the volatility of the debt assets as well. It's nothing fancy. We just use the volatility to determine the weight or the coefficient, and then take the weighted sum of the debt in addition to that of the collateral to determine our adjusted version of the minimum collateral coverage ratio. In addition to our unique adjusted collateral coverage ratio, we created a notion of independent liquidation threshold, which is essentially a set of coefficients that is slightly different from the one to calculate our adjusted collateral coverage ratio. Why another set of coefficients? Because using the same set of coefficients results in users standing too close to being liquidated when maximizing out their loans granted by the adjusted collateral coverage ratio. The formula looks similar, just with different parameters as coefficients. By using the slightly enlarged set of coefficients, the collateral coverage ratio is well buffered and users are well protected from liquidation. Our dual volatility protection and independent liquidation threshold mechanism protects the hard-earned assets of our users. On that bloody Wednesday of May the 19th, there was only over $1 million of assets liquidated on FORTUBE. Considering that FORTUBE had an TVL of $400 million at that time, our mechanism did fulfill its promise in protecting users' assets. Thank you. That's all I'm going to share with you today.
Yeah. It like some of this went over it. Be a recorded session that will be up. Rewatch. Now we to import Samara. Are you thinking of? Hi, Amara. Can you hear me?
I can barely hear you.
Hi, is it a bit better now?
Yes, Brenton, it's better now.
Hi, Ben. So if we have any of those questions from our audience, let's get them through to Amaral. Well, thank you very much, Haberberry. We do try here at Binance, so thank you very much for that comment.
Yeah, Brenton. So majorly, all the comments coming in are just gratitude to Binance for the simplicity of the trading interface. I know Amarok was quite detailed about the slides, his explanation on how the FORTUBE system worked, and he even went ahead to share testimony of how the system helped checkmate the major issue that happened some weeks back, right? I'm very certain that a lot of people want to, interact with the FORTUBE system. FORTUBE is actually listed on Binance, Brenton, because of their. I think they have done a good job in terms of their security. Amarok, do you want to share with us a little of your experience around, building such a secure product?
Mm-hmm.
Hello, can you hear us?
I can. Could you repeat the question?
Yeah, sure. I was, just trying to find out how, what was the experience for the team at FORTUBE, to come up with such a very secure product. What were the challenges you experienced along the line? And what advice can you give to our developers who are, upcoming in Africa?
When building FORTUBE, one challenge is the off-chain security auditor system. Because to audit the on-chain state, we have to recreate everything that recreate and just replicate what the smart contracts did, and we just repeat everything on our backend to evaluate everything and to check against check the data against the on-chain one. It was quite challenging, but it is quite rewarding because this system gives us some confidence over the security of our system. And one lesson we learned from that is that although we are building something on blockchain, that we are building a decentralized finance product, but it is also okay to make use of some traditional technology to safeguard our system, instead of building a fully decentralized application and get wrecked, like recently many projects got wrecked, got hacked.
So there's some form of governance going on in FORTUBE, right? I see that you have a DAO governance. Let's talk a little bit about the multi-chain markets, right? I see that currently you support Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. Are there any plans to support any more networks, in the near future?
Actually, lately we have launched our Polygon version of FORTUBE.
Oh, great!
Now you can use our product on Polygon. Just give it a try.
Makes sense.
Thank you. We'll definitely do that.
All right, that's it on my side, Brenton.
Also, we have also supported the OKEX chain.
Oh, great!
You can now you can use all of the four chains to just whichever you like.
Sure.
Brilliant. I'm sure a lot of our users will be checking that out. Great. Ben, so if there's no other questions from the audience, I think maybe we can wrap up today's session.
Yeah, sure. It was a very insightful one. Seeing that, FORTUBE, they are doing a whole lot of stuff in the market. And I like the fact that they implemented a solution that they have tested in real time, right?
Yeah.
They've safeguarded people's funds. They, a lot of rug pull in the market currently, but we need projects that, can stand the test of time. Very exciting to have you, Amarok, on the show. Thank you so much. Guys, if you have questions, please you can dive into FORTUBE channel, for.tube, and you just do some readings about the platform, get some updates. You can subscribe to their newsletters and, follow up on them on social media and see what they're doing in the industry. Just to re-emphasize on what Brenton shared about at the beginning of the call, we are having our demo show today. Our demo show goes live today, and I'm excited because for over 3 weeks now, Brenton, we have been, working together with over 16 to 17 teams building amazing products, right? And for those of you who do not, who have not seen what our guys are building, you can head over to hackerlink.com to find out what they are building. A lot of projects, have, come up with MVPs, and we want to show them to our judges, right? Let me quickly get the link for you. I want all of you on the call to be a part of this show, happening today at 5 p.m. UTC +1, right? So go head over to this link and and interact with projects that you find on the link. So give your support to 1 or 2 projects, and let's see how which projects will emerge as the overall winner for the Judges Pick category of the rewards. Remember, over $20,000, over $30,000 overall will be given out to projects that participated in the hackathon. Brenton?
Yeah, so as you heard, make sure that you are there this evening. We've already taken up your Thursday evening. So you've got plans if anyone asks, make sure that you register. And we will see you later. Thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you so much, Amarok, for presenting us with the FORTUBE project.
Thanks, guys. Bye, everyone.
Bye.